Welcome back, and we now get to the final phase of the show. We want to go to the phone lines. Don Sabo is on the line, and I'd request all our callers to be brief and to the point. Don Sabo, very good afternoon, calling us from Ngong. Don, what do you have to say?
Good afternoon, Fred. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, I'm happy with the panelists, except Chebunet, who still has hangovers of campaign trails. I think when you come on a national TV, it is good to wear out and be objective and actually face the facts and inform the public. Two, about the IBC fiasco, I think this is the biggest letdown from IBC, and let's be very specific, from Chebukati and Majan. This issue of claims, this issue of election materials, it is all shrouded with some mystery. And slowly by slowly, we are seeing things coming up, trying to give a picture that they are not prepared, or if they are prepared, they have engineered a way how they will manage it for themselves, but not for the people. Then I ask myself, who is the benefactor of such a game? Looking in Kenya, we have seen people who have come out and cheered up and even defended IBC when they started somehow giving us the public wrong information. This is wrong. Let's not be in a hurry to blame or to say something that we have not clear understanding. Look at what the DCA report indicates. These are rats who got into Kenya and coming to see somebody personally, then later on we are being told they come for IBC missions. This is actually a big mixture for Chebukati. He should make a press conference to tell Kenyans exactly who are these people. Then, with the coming presidential debate, I think it's not good to look down upon what the Raila team is thinking through. They must be having a reason. Okay, looking at the deputy presidential debate, if I relate it to the coming one, I see a situation whereby we are all over in the media trying to say that Rigathi was one day argument. But we are not saying that Martha Karua won the debate. I think let's have this thing clearly, even in the media and everywhere. What Rigathi was talking about was all the time bashing Uhuru. What in the mindset of people could be feeling very well. Was that deputy presidential ideas? Is that what we need from somebody who wants to lead Kenya?
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Asante sana. Next up, we have Gian Wahome from Nairobi. Gian, good afternoon. Go ahead. Be brief and to the point. Gian, go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon to you.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. To the point that and shoot it. Now, I wish we would have spent more time talking about the integrity of this coming election. In the Muli, we have, first of all, to be very careful. And you have to take our history with us. We have to remember as a nation where we have come from. We cannot mess with this election. IEBC must deliver a free, fair, credible, and verifiable election. What are foreigners doing in this country with IEBC election materials? In the Mulu, where there is fire, where there is smoke, there must be fire. And if you are not careful in the Mulu, I want people to go back and read the regular report. This election is about the integrity of this nation. My candidate, Raila Amolo Odinga, in my rightful mind, I know Raila Odinga has the support of majority of Kenyans. What Kenya Kwanza is currently doing, they are doing two things.
Okay.
They want to compromise these elections. Two,
Gian, because of time, kindly wrap up.
let me finish.
Yes.
Two, they want to make sure that these elections ends up to the Supreme Court. But I want to remind Kenyans, first of all, this election in the Muli is about two individuals. It's about William Ruto, it's about Raila Odinga. It's about Rigathi Gachagua, and it's about Martha Karua. Taking the histories of these two presidential candidates, who has the best interest of this country?
Okay. Thank you, Gian. Thank you, Gian.
Okay.
Let's take the other caller, Tuya Ronald from Bomet. A very good afternoon to you. Ronald, go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon to you, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, I think where we are messing is here. We are not voting in about the... Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm saying that the election which is coming is not all about the Raila and the Ruto. What we need is to change the economy. The country is facing a lot of inflation. But even as current, no one even is talking about it. The issue is not about the individual. I think we should change the way we are politicking in the country. And the issue of IPC, I think Chebukati also should come clear and tell us how about how he will come and carry out the election. I think there is a...
Yes, we seem to have lost Tuya Ronald. Well, thank you so much to our callers, Tuya Ronald, Gian Wahome, and Don Sabwa. Your views have been taken clearly. Now it's back to my panelists for their final thoughts, and we'll start with you, Bwana Chebunet. Give us your final thoughts. 15 days to election.
Thank you very much. As Kenya Kwanza, we are ready. We are aware the deep state that was supporting Raila Odinga is running away, and that's why you see Raila Odinga is running away from the debates. The support that Uhuru Kenyatta had promised him is gone. And so we want to tell our people to turn up in large numbers, the people supporting Kenya Kwanza, and all Kenyans, because whatever you will see on 9th, and William Ruto has continued insisting that the people will decide. And that's why this election is going to be decided with numbers. It will not going to be decided in social media. It's going to be decided with numbers. So if people turn up, I believe this state capture that we are seeing by DCI and Azimio is going to come to an end on 9th. That's why we keep on saying freedom is coming.
Okay, thank you, Chebunet, for that. Dismiss.
Well, you know, presidential debates offer Kenyans a chance to understand candidates' perspectives on issues. And I can bet my head that the moderators for the presidential debate want to discuss issues of corruption, issues of integrity, and public debt. So it would be very nice if Raila Odinga would actually review his decision and appear for the presidential candidates debate, so that we begin to understand his perspectives on corruption, on public debt, on integrity, and also as well we understand William Ruto's position. Because this is the elephant in the room, especially the issue of public debt. It's because of the public debt that we are not able to afford unga, that the cost of fuel is going through the roof, that we are having all these, food insecurity, fertilizer insecurity, housing insecurity. In fact, any insecurity in Kenya can be traced to the public debt. So it would have been very nice for Raila Odinga, because he has done interviews with the international media where he has indicated that he's going to restructure the debt. How is he going to restructure the debt? Ruto has indicated he's not going to restructure the debt. How does he intend to go forward? But more important, shed transparency into the entire process.
Okay.
So a debate would have been a very good thing. So I'm really hoping that Professor Makau Mutua and Raila's advisors would actually review the position and have him appear. Then number two, the Kenyan voter this time around, they need to punish folks who score an A in impunity, mediocrity, and corruption, and start rewarding meritocracy. Because if you just become a sycophant to a particular candidate because he comes from your village or because he dances to a similar tune like yourself, then we are going to have another 10 years where we are going to wallow in a miasma of impunity, mediocrity, and corruption. And those are words borrowed from Mwala Kijana, one of the few leaders who called a spade a spade.
Okay, thank you. Dismas, Rita?
I think with all due respect, Honorable Raila should now have lived long enough to stop this boycott, abandonment mentality that he's run with for 40 years from 1982. It is time for him to actually sit with other adults, negotiate, agree, and come up with solutions where he feels aggrieved. This is a small matter, presidential debate. Honestly, if all you wanted was certain topics, why don't you take advantage and respect voters enough to spar on ideas as the voters watch, even our children watch and learn that this is how grown-ups debate ideas that take a country forward. So I think, with all due respect, he needs to step back a little on that boycott and rebellious personality that he's been holding on to for 40 years. Having said that, with the same spirit, I hope that the parties that are involved, the different institutions that are involved in carrying out this election, Kina Kinoti and Kina Chebukati, where they lead, I hope they also do the adult thing and sit together and come up with modalities and pathways of resolving any conflicts or differences, or even communicating. It is enough. We cannot put Kenyans under so much tension, with so much anxiety, with press releases and press debates and all this showbiz. It is not valuable. And these are taxpayers. This is taxpayers' money. So really the fair thing to do is to actually solve those problems. Don't give us anxiety and create so much friction within the voter base 2 weeks into an election, when these things you can just resolve them by sitting in a room and coming up with a plan, a joint plan, a coherent plan that you can share with Kenya and say, we are working in concert to deliver this, and also align the judiciary, because part of what we have seen is like with Ruben Kigame's case, where Chebukati is saying, oh, it's too late, now we cannot reprint this. I mean, had you and judiciary come up with some timelines and some bare minimum so that we don't get caught up in this type of scenarios, I think we are no longer a juvenile democracy. I think we are smart enough, we have access to resources, we can do better as a country.
Thank you, Rita. And finally, Hesbon, and we are very short of time. Go ahead.
I think the first thing I may want to say is that because I know Rita and where Rita and I come from, I think the two of us were not even born when Raila was already fighting, for the freedom that we have today, the freedom to just sit and discuss national issues, drop names. So the level of advice we can give, has a threshold, Number two, it's refreshing to live in this democracy today because of the many things that have happened since the 2017 general election. Key among them is the handshake. And people keep saying that President Uhuru Kenyatta promised to support Raila. I think the biggest support President Uhuru Kenyatta gave Raila is not directly to Raila, but to the people of Kenya. The handshake. Today, a few days ago, the deputy president was in Suna East, my native Migori County, and he campaigned. There was a big crowd. No one insulted anyone. They listened to him. The handshake actually opened the door for all politicians to traverse this country and look for votes. And I think that's the only thing that Raila needed to access Mount Kenya. So the support that Dr. Chebunet is talking about, that is an illusion that people in Kenya Kwanza have. It's already there. The access to Mount Kenya is basically what Raila needed, and we've seen the numbers. Then number two, where we have reached, I don't think it's a question of, telling people to come out in large numbers and vote, telling us who you support. It's a question of telling Kenyans, why should they vote for the person you support? Okay. That is the most important thing right now.
Thank you so much, Hesbon, for that. Thank you, Hesbon Owila, Media and Communications Professional, Rita Oyer, Communications and Marketing Professional, Dismas Mukua, Political Risk Analyst, and Philip Chebunet, Political Analyst. Those have been our panelists today. Thank you so much for watching Inside Politics. Remember, the conversation continues online at KTN News KE on Twitter. Use the hashtag Inside Politics. My name is Fred Indimuli. Good afternoon.